Okay, on this episode of Conversations with Neighbours, as you know, we're always looking for the people in Aurora who are quietly doing things the right way. When it comes to insurance, a space where trust, clarity, and real guidance actually matter. One name kept coming up in our community conversations. Today, we're sitting down with Kumssa, managing partner at Billyard Insurance Group here in Aurora. He's spent over a decade helping individuals and business owners protect what they've built. But what stood out to us wasn't just experience, it's how people talk about working with them. Thoughtful, straightforward, and relationship first. At BIG Aurora, insurance isn't treated like a transaction, it's treated like a long-term partnership built on trust, transparency, and doing right by the people. That's exactly why we wanted to have this conversation. Let's get into it. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so before we dive into the work side of it, like for people who don't know you, what are you outside of work? What are you up to outside of regular work hours, you know?
That's a great question. So I got a beautiful family, wife and 2 kids, both girls. They're in school, about 9 and 5. Sorry, going on 9 and 6. Other than that, I mean, I'm in a, for fun, basketball league, soccer league. I love hot yoga. So yeah. I'm out there supporting the local yoga studio, and yeah.
What's the hot yoga spot to go to?
I go to the Moda Yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in Aurora. By the train tracks. Pretty good.
My massage therapist works out of the Moda Yoga in Newmarket. Nicole, shout out Nicole. She's a magician.
So with the access to the Aurora one, thankfully, you get access to the Newmarket location.
Okay,
well, so
yeah.
It's a nice little perk.
I actually have never done hot yoga, but it's definitely on my list. Like I've done lots of yoga and I love sauna. So like it feels like it's the perfect.
It is a good blend because you get the cardio and you get the meditation part too.
Yeah. And do you live in Aurora, around Aurora?
So I'm actually in Mount Albert.
Okay, yeah.
Small little community out. I'm sure you probably know where it is, right?
Yeah, my sister lives there.
There you go. So not a bad commute, but we do a lot in Aurora. So
yeah. How long have you been in Mount Albert?
Been there for 9 years. Time
flies.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my sister lives there. She lives on Alice Street. You know where that is? It's like Center Street, then Alice Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Up the hill.
There's a lot of hills. Very hilly place.
Before you got into insurance, like was there any career options that you were thinking about? And then what led to kind of the industry of insurance?
Funny enough, I was recommended to go into insurance. I was really good at just communicating with people. And it was one of those things my parents would even bring up, like, hey, you need to do something more serious. I was selling cell phones at the time, and I jumped in and got an opportunity. And from there, I realized that, hey, I am good at communicating with people and having these conversations and listening. So I was able to grow in that field. And then, went from a broker to managing partner with Billyard Insurance Group. And now, great.
What, and yeah, it's such like you develop kind of these skills, people, person, communication, right? And then there's so many different aspects that are different lanes that you can kind of take it to. And obviously insurance is a good one, right? It's just constantly communicating with people and, you know, especially in protecting people, families, businesses, right? And was there a point where, but you don't know until you actually do it, right? So then you hop into it. Obviously, early years are always a grind, right? Was there a point where you're like, okay, I can actually really do this and I can make something of it. I can grow within this to be running your own show?
No, definitely there was. So I realized being a broker, it not only was dealing with the client face to face and talking to them, it was a matter of also discussing and conversating with the insurance companies. And I realized that I just had a knack for it. I would retain information from different markets very quickly, be able to communicate things very clearly with the companies and advocate for my clients. Once that became a regular, and I was, kind of like to my peers, I'm like the encyclopedia of information. They come to me for quick questions. Realized, hey, I could be a leader on this. And I had a great mentor who saw this in me and advocated for me as well when it came to Billyard. Actually, I was a broker at Billyard, and they gave me the opportunity. I was one of the first brokers to transition into being a managing partner. So big shout out to them too for believing in me.
Yeah. So how did you kind of get a hold of Billyard and Aurora? Like how did that chapter like come to be and how it started to grow?
Well, yeah, living in Mount Albert, I wanted something local, and Billiard had a great name and still does in the industry. Very tech forward. We make the process very easy for our clients and our brokers. So it was a easy decision to go with Billiard, and growing was actually just organic from there.
Yeah, and there's so many elements that go like behind a business and like how a business is built, but like even just kind of our industry and even just like looking at their website, right? Like your website is like so optimized and clean and like user friendly, and like it's those little things that actually make like a big difference, right? You jump on so many people's websites, especially if you think of like a insurance industry, right? And you just kind of get lost in like text, you don't know what to do or like where to go. But like you could tell that Big kind of has that dialed in.
Yeah, the marketing is a big aspect. The being able to allow your clients to freely purchase products online, like travel insurance, without even talking to the broker. I mean, that just gives us a huge advantage. And then on top of that, we get clients that can go in and get quotes for cars that they're newly purchasing, if it's after hours, for example. Um, Being very user friendly, like for our clients, when you go online, you can see your documents, your pink slips, and a lot of other brokerages out there don't have this technology, not even half of it. So the last 5 years has been fun being ahead in technology. The next five is scary because we're truly equipped in advance for what's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah, for sure. The whole wave of AI and everything that comes along
Oh
with
yeah,
that, right?
oh yeah. Our CEO is very hands-on with AI and has industry leading technology in his back pocket right now to help give us that advantage.
And so you got the kind of leading edge on the tech side of it too, but as well, like insurance is a lot of relationship building and, with your clients and your partners and things like that. Like, where does that kind of mindset sit with you and your team when you're thinking about building out the business?
I'm all for AI in that sense. I advocate for AI as well. Um, there's always too much AI. I do believe that, right? So there is a fine line, and you gotta play with it to know what areas to go with. Um, it's a computer, so you can't trust everything right away, right? And I do stress that, especially with my brokers. It's funny because I notice clients using AI now too, in responses back, right? So it's yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, it's like level the playing field too, but then as well, you could kind of spot it, right? It's like you send out a response, they just take that, put that in ChatGPT. What's the best response to this, right?
Literally, right? Like, and it's funny, you got to kind of play the AI versus AI game. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know they're using
Yeah.
ChatGPT. What's my response back,
Yeah.
right? But there's always a line, and you got to know as a professional, or seek advice from a professional, someone with the experience to guide you on the right things to say. Because yeah, you want to make sure you're giving the right answer, not just what the computer thinks is the right answer.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think most people kind of get wrong about the insurance industry or insurance brokers? Like what do people get wrong about it?
Well, there's two sides, I guess. There's one that the brokers are out to kind of so on the broker side, there's two things. Within Billiard, we've done a great job of making sure we're hiring the right people, so our brokers are doing the right things. A lot of what I've seen from client side is a lot of other people are they don't know what they're purchasing from them. So they're being told one thing and they're getting another. And that transparency between the big insurance wording line is right are not coming across as clear as they
Yeah.
should, right, to the clients. So, well, another one is that we're setting the prices, right? We're not really
Mhm.
we don't have the option or a magic button, as I like to say, like to just drop it lower, right? I mean, um, they also assume, so a lot of times I got a lot of clients that assume that some things that they leave out aren't as important, whereas it's actually quite the opposite, right? Like if you're not mentioning things intentionally, then something happens. It's we can't play the "oh I forgot" card, right? Especially in 2026, these insurance companies know a lot,
Mhm.
especially the old tricks that people used to do sometimes, right? So it's better to just be honest. So the insurance companies and the brokers,
Yeah.
and you got to trust your broker. Ask the questions, obviously, right? Do your due diligence, but trust your broker. And if you don't trust your broker, then you're paying for a policy with nothing, right?
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to just having this communication role in it, right? And being clear and transparent, and like in kind of these industries, you think of like financial world or insurance world, where it's comes so naturally to the person because they live it every day, but the person across the table might not know exactly what you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
And it's like really clarifying, like and laying it out in simple terms.
Layman's terms, right? Like, especially with my brokers too. I just a reminder, they do it every day, right? So when they're saying, "Hey, this and that," where you have a OPCF 20, for example, to the average person, they can be like, "What's that?" But thanks, right? Or sometimes the client won't even ask, but it's a matter of using it in layman's terms so the client understands. And displaying that on the documents too, which we do a great job of.
What are some mistakes that you see, whether it's from individuals, families, or business owners when it comes to the insurance world?
Some mistakes that I see would be, well, I'll start on the client side. Like I said, is misleading your broker or not telling them that you have like a young driver in the house when you do. That's a big mistake. On the broker side, is people taking shortcuts, right? Like texting back responses and things like that. That's kind of one of my biggest pet peeves is like, let's stay away from texting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk on the phone or let's email and have a formal line of communication, because this is like, at the end of the day,
It's an important line item.
Exactly. Like, documentation matters, and he said, she said, and all this. Text message is not a legitimate form of communication, right? So I like to avoid mistakes by doing those things.
Like, how does someone know if they're underinsured or overinsured? Is it just, again, going back to being truthful and having open line communication, or is there anything that someone should be thinking about? Like, if someone's listening to this and they're like, "Oh no, I got insured. It's like I signed on it like 7 years ago," but you actually have gone and you're in a new house and you have a kid,
Exactly.
and like there's all these things that change, but it's not.
I would say it's kind of like your finances. Take a look at it every 6 months to a year at least. See what's working, what's not working, what's on the policy. Have a conversation with your broker, and then again, like I would recommend is shop. If you have any uncertainties about what you have on your policy, whether it's enough coverage, too much coverage, right? Like, have a conversation with your broker, and if you feel still like you haven't been satisfied with that answer, don't hesitate to shop, right? There's thousands of brokers out there, and look up reviews, right? See who you're talking to and what other people are saying about them, because that stuff matters as well.
Yeah.
So you can compare. Then, I mean, I do free comparisons, and I know my brokers do too. We just open the line of communication up to the client. We'll take a look at your documents. We'll provide what we can offer and say, hey, this is this and this is that. Hey, your dog may not be actually covered liability wise with this insurance company due to the breed of the dog, right? Little things like that people don't know, and it helps people sleep better at night.
Yeah, no, it just seems like you have like the insurance company kind of world, right, where they have what the rates and what their coverage is and stuff like that. But you need to have like the company and the brokers be willing to do the work and like do the digging and like trying to be actually helpful and asking the right questions to get to the proper answer, right?
Exactly.
If you go to someone that are just like, yeah, this, but then like no follow-up questions, no actually trying to get to the bottom line of it, you're going to naturally miss stuff.
100%. I mean, I like to use, like, a lot of clients will come to me and be like, hey, this is covered under a blanket of this. And it's like, do you know what that blanket is made out of, right? Like, there's a lot of nuances to this policy. And, it says jewelry limit is 50,000, but did you read the fine print? Do you understand that each item is only max limited at 5,000, for example, right? So, yeah, like you said, definitely having a conversation and being on the same page, right? It shouldn't be a quick transaction. It's that's how I look at it. Insurance should not be a transaction. It's an open line of communication, continuing line of communication too, right? So, and there's so many different factors. Like, let's say you have a business, right? And it's in your home. There's things that you need to talk to your broker about and ask questions about, liability wise, your contents, your personal documents, safety of it. Right? Like, if a client comes to your house, slips and falls on the way in, your claim could actually be denied because the insurance company doesn't know that you started a business 2 years ago in your home, right? So,
do you have like because you're like in the industry for a while and like probably have built mastery within this. Do you have like insurance brain where like wherever you go, you're just always thinking that? Like I'm just thinking of you in this plaza, like walking up those stairs, you'd be like, wow, these are icy. Like I wonder what the coverage, who's liable for this. And like, do you just naturally do that?
Funny enough, yes, I do. And I did think that today. So not the stairs specifically. You know, those little shards of ice, right? So I'm walking around and it took me a second because I didn't come up Yonge Street. It took me a second and I'm walking around cold and I'm like, wow, if one of these things drops on me, that's a big suit, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I thinking about this? Let me find this door, right? So I do, unfortunately, right? And my wife makes jokes about it too all the time. We'll be walking somewhere and she'll be like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It's 50-50, right? I'm like, that's a 50-50, right? So
that's so funny. I can imagine that because I'm like marketer and advertiser. So like I can never turn it off. Like whenever I'm seeing something, I'm like analyzing it immediately.
Exactly. You're like, you know, that wasn't the right image for the logo or something, right? So
yeah, could have been a better hook. And like in the insurance world, it's like one of those ones where unfortunately it's too late, right? Like you don't have it in place and then it's too late. And without sharing like too many details, could you tell us like a story of when it wasn't too late, like where they did have the proper insurance in place and it like really saved them in a tight spot, or a story like that? I think that would be helpful.
Absolutely. So I do see the too lates and not too lates, and it does come across my desk, unfortunately, more than I like. And usually the too lates happen because the formal line of communication isn't smooth, or unfortunately the client forgets. And good news is I've seen scenarios where companies will backdate things to help the client, especially when they know it's an honest mistake. And I've seen scenarios, unfortunately, where they won't, right? So it's a matter of who you're dealing with, how everything is documented, right? The one where the insurance company backdated and paid out on the car claim, for example, the notes justified everything, and it wasn't a malicious intent of a mistake from the broker or the client. It was more on the client, but they allowed it, right? They realized it's a good client and no problem. So I like to always hope for the best, but expect the worst, right? So I would never lead a client on thinking like, hey, you're going to get paid out for this. So I'm used to having those tough conversations, but yeah, it's the companies aren't as evil as people think they are.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, right? Like insurance is so important. It's like exactly what you said there too. You think of all the life insurance or business insurance or car insurance or house insurance, like all those items where obviously you'd never want to have to use it, right? But you can't have the mentality of like, I'm never going to use it, so I'm not going to get it.
Yeah. No, I've heard Chris Rock make a joke about insurance way back, and it's always been on my mind, right? It's like in case, right? So yeah, it's you're happy when you use it. You're upset when you're paying for it and you're not using it. But and I would just a little re-note here. Don't cheap out on your insurance. Right?
Yeah,
it's especially if it's a item that you cherish, like your home, for example. Like let's take care of that and insure it properly.
Yeah, they should have branded it different and called it protection from the start. You know, like whoever was the beginning of the insurance industry. But then obviously when they did it, like insurance didn't have that, like everything attached to it. But I feel like protection is just a way better branding for what it is.
I agree. The connotation attached to the word insurance now too is pretty negative. A lot of it was based on the trust system, right? So like way back, you would write a policy by hand and send it in, and you wouldn't even get anything for a month maybe, right? And then you get the documents. And now look at today, like they're literally uploading files and they're like bound in 15 minutes, right? So, but the word insurance definitely carries a negative connotation to it. When people ask me what I do, sometimes I'm a little hesitant. I'm like, how are you going to feel about me?
We protect people and assets. That's what we do, right?
Yep.
And so now in your role, right, you're kind of building out a team, which I think, sports background too. So you probably have always had that team element growing up. Absolutely. And even continue on. So what's that kind of been like, that next chapter of like building team, building culture, helping people win, common goals, all those elements?
One thing I love about it, so it does relate to the basketball court, thankfully. I am a point guard, so I facilitate a lot. And my team in the office, I love what I love about it is everybody has their own individual goals, and we sit down quarterly about the goals and see where they are with it, and where they want to be and where they want to go. Adjust their plan based on that. So for me, helping each individual in their own ways really helps. And I mean, their plans do change here and there, but overall, the let's say 5 and 10 year goals are always it's very similar. So helping them get to where they want to be, whether that's introducing them to the right people or just sharing knowledge and being there to support them, it means a lot to me. And that's I would like to grow in a steady, organic way to the point where I'm able to help everybody one on one, and then eventually hire an office manager to do more of the hands-on inside the business, and I can work on growing their networks as well and building it out to be what they want it to be.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, like you had a mentor early in this industry and kind of helped you. So you know how important it is to have someone that's kind of been there before, that's a couple steps ahead of you, kind of guiding the way.
So I had help that I can't even thank yous don't mean enough about it, right? Like there's so I've always said when it comes to it, like I'm going to give back to my brokers and advocate for them in the exact same way. And they know this. That's one of the things that we sit down about and go over. So I'll never hold them back. If they want to grow, I'll support them, right? Especially if I agree with it. I'm going to continue that mindset. It's a matter of helping people get to the place where they need to be. I mean, I didn't even think of the idea of going to the managing partner role until it was brought up to me, like, hey, you'd be really good with this, right? You support our office already. This is something that you could do. And definitely with the characteristics that some of the brokers that I have, watching them go to the next level would make me happy.
Yeah. And, obviously you're going to have clients all over the place, but Aurora is kind of home base for your business. And what's it like kind of being in Aurora, knowing the community and, serving the neighbors that live here?
I love Aurora. I love the community, and serving the community makes me so happy because there's times where, like example, I'll go to the yoga studio and somebody will see me and be like, hey, I saw your picture and, we talk and I'm one of your clients, right? Or, we share the same doctor and we find out that way. Like there's so many small things. You feel like a mini celebrity, right? Yeah. And it's just from doing good in the community, right? And whether that's giving back or just participating in events, we love it. We were just at the Hope Hospice grand opening last week, I believe it was, and just dropped off some flowers and said, welcome to the community. And we love supporting the community, and they do give back. So
yeah,
I'm thankful.
And it's like the beautiful thing of like a tight-knit community of people recommending you and referring you if you're doing good, right? And you're doing what you're set out to do. And that's why like it's the best people will win in like a tight-knit community like that too. So that's always good to see.
Absolutely. Like good news travels like slowly and bad news travels fast. And to be here, in the heart of Aurora by Yonge and Wellington, and still having a great name and helping our community means a lot to us and to the community to be able to help them. So
love it. Okay, we'll go quick hits right now. One piece of advice you'd give your 20-year-old self.
Stay steady.
Yeah. It will all work out.
Yes, it'll work out.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
One thing people should never ignore when it comes to insurance?
Coverage.
Yeah.
I was going to say liability, but coverage.
If someone is listening or watching and they're like, I should look into my insurance, like what should they do? Just like reach out to you and just have a conversation? And
so definitely reach out to us, Aurora at thebig.ca. And we can, let's say you have your existing policy, we can take a look at it and quote your new policy and see what it would look like. It'll help give you an updated gap, I guess, to see what you have and what you don't have. You may be already insured properly, and honestly, sometimes we see people insured properly with a great rate, and we're like, hey, you look good, right? I mean, look at your policy every year, and if you want a second opinion, like a doctor kind of thing, come to us, right? We're here for that.
Yeah.
But
love that. Okay, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. Seriously.
Okay, bye-bye.